Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm trying to keep you on your toes, pal. I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Johnny Bottles because I got a good night's sleep last night with AEW Dynamite. I took a shot of AEW Dynamite about that big, and it put me to sleep for a good 10 hours. It was incredible. It was incredible. It's chock full of ingredients like Darby Allinall, a young Buckside, and what else is it filled with? It's filled with a little bit of Willow Nightingale, which can be considered in big quantities very poisonous. To my left is my man D-Dubs, the Big Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter. And we've got a lot to talk about today. If you saw the thumbnail, you know we got a lot to talk about.
We're going to get
a lot to talk about. But first things first, let's talk about in my opinion, a so-so lackluster WWE Raw. Let's bring that.
I can't disagree. Go ahead. You can start off because I really can't disagree with too much of what you're saying. The one key takeaway I had from that show was, of course, and I'm sure you'll get there, the Cody Rhodes segment. That's what made me watch.
The whole thing with me and WWE Raw would have to be what I'm thinking is they gave you that day with that press conference and on the SmackDown and appearances of Raw, they gave you The Rock. They gave you Roman Reigns of the Bloodline with Paul Heyman. They gave you a 9-course meal. And then you go back to the same restaurant and they're serving up meatloaf and mashed potatoes with gravy.
Lunchables. You're
Lunchables.
I was here
the
yesterday.
Nachos and cheese Lunchables.
Goddamn prime rib. What happened? We're all out of that, sir. All I can do is a ham sandwich.
That's the vibe I get from this, Don. That's the vibe I get from this. There are a lot of guys in limbo on Raw because it seems like everything is revolving around SmackDown. And SmackDown the other night was a boring show for me personally, and not a lot I remember about it. Without looking at a recap on my screen.
You have to look at the recap. You really do.
Got to look at the recap to see what happened. Now, we'll talk about SmackDown, like we discussed, tomorrow, because there's big doings on SmackDown. Something big's going to happen on SmackDown tomorrow with the appropriate players in place. And if you think The Rock...
If you don't know, The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to be on tomorrow night.
Correct. And they were also going... Well, The Rock is going to be at the Elimination Chamber. Supposedly doing a bit of business.
This is what you're saying
not
is
the
rumored innuendo right now. I have not.
Well, it's already it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed by Grayson Waller himself. Grayson Waller himself, who has the SmackDown talk show, a la Piper's Pit. It's called the Grayson Waller Effect. He will be hosting. They'll probably announce it tomorrow. They announced it online already. He'll be hosting at the Elimination Chamber Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And you know who else is going to show up? The Rock. He was originally announced 3 weeks ago to be at the Elimination Chamber doing a bit of business with Grayson Waller. We'll see how that goes.
I'm looking it up now. Nothing has been confirmed yet, Bottles. Nothing has been confirmed.
They're going to announce it tomorrow, Don. But go ahead. Let's talk about Raw. Let's talk Raw.
Well, you want to talk about it. Look, here it is.
Raw opened up with a wrestling match.
Oh, dear God.
It opened up hot with a wrestling match, pal.
Nothing about this show is hot. Let's just be honest.
Well, if you look at half of this match, you had Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci, and Gunther, the guys in Imperium. And unfortunately, they were up against Jey Uso and 2/3 of the New Day.
You knew how this was going to go because this is typical WWE cookie-cutter horseshit booking. Don't let the heels go over. Never. Never get them heat going off the show. Don't ever do that. It's so bad.
A good-looking kid, got a lot of charisma, considering that they rarely let him talk. Great in the ring. Giovanni Vinci always eats the pin. He ate the pin for the team again. So, it is what it is there. A lot of yeets, a lot of New Day rocks, all that bullshit. I find it hard to believe that a frail man, the size of Kofi Kingston, blessed with that Chris Jericho chest, could actually compete in a ring against the likes of Gunther and Giovanni Vinci.
I'm surprised you could even watch all of this, Bottles. It's just, I had on the DVR, I said, no, I wasn't feeling good this week. I said, no, okay. I want to see who wins this Zoe Stark match. Of course, they put over Liv Morgan, which I don't get it. I don't understand why. So the only thing I really care about this entire thing was the Seth Cody promo. And it just, look, I have not been a fan of Seth Rollins as of late. I can't deny that. He has not really done anything for me. His entrance is about the only thing I've liked. What he's done lately, however, when he's gotten fired up and knocked off the bullshit, I've enjoyed immensely. That's the guy I wanted to see from the get-go.
Right.
And this is, I mean.
And that Grey Goose, Jim Ross, that was a great line. I'll be your shield, Cody.
Yeah. And that
was a great line.
But again,
and if you look at the ratings for that show, that was the highest rated segment of the show.
It was, but if you're supposed to be the world champion, the world heavyweight champion, you should be saying my title's just as important, not I'll defend you. Like, it's just we're dog paddling right now until we get to the meat of the matter of WrestleMania. That's all we're doing. And this is what's killing me about this company. They're not giving me a storyline. They're not giving me what I care about in between these big pay-per-views. It's one constant boring ass show after another. Cody Rhodes segment, CM Punk when he was on his segments, every now and then Seth Rollins. Now Drew McIntyre's got my interest. He's got my interest.
Right.
But the Judgment Day, they're using them way too much. The backstage shit.
Way too much.
Just
they're the Raw bloodline. They're the Raw's version of the bloodline. I'm not talking about being related, but a multi-person faction. It feels like it's paid by numbers wrestling. Circa 2020. They need another faction. What they should do, I think, is bring up another guy from NXT to join Imperium and put Imperium up against the Judgment Day. That would make for an interesting matchup. I'd like to see that.
And I'd like to see
who could they bring up?
CM Punk needs to have his own talking segment where he doesn't get physical, but he's sitting there in between two guys that are about to get physical, and he's instigating the shit. And he's always talking smack. I always going, hey, I can't fight you, but if I could, I'd beat your ass. I know this guy's going to beat your ass, and it off and running. So there's guys they can use. There's guys they can use and ways they can use them, and they're not doing it. Thursday night was the best way they've used Punk since he got hurt. That was a great way.
They fired the host, the male host of The Bump on the Peacock. They let him go. And that'd be a great place to put Punk while he's off. They could tape it at his leisure, have him on there until they find a co-host.
Yes, please.
I think Sam Roberts is going to. Yes, please like and subscribe, folks.
And thank you for tuning in.
It means a lot to us. It means a lot to us. I'll hate these shows less if you like and subscribe.
I look, this Raw again, it's Becky Lynch had a promo I didn't think was terrible. It was one of the better ones of the show. I didn't think it was terrible.
It was the match that lit the fuse for Jax to come out and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
So
yes.
It was a prop, basically. Same shit over and over again with Becky Lynch, just like her husband.
All American Headmaker says he guesses Randy Orton being Punk's bodyguard is out of the question. Look, if the show
only if you put a cast on Randy's arm, yes, that'd be great.
There's a couple things I'm curious about, right at the end of this show, and we don't have to talk about this thing in depth because God knows I don't want to put everybody else to sleep either. Just it's one of those things where you go to sleep with it on, and if you wake up, you didn't miss shit. You catch up on everything. LA Knight's storyline is curious about me right now. I'm curious about that. Because
why he's on the back burner?
Yeah, like what I'm not saying he's got to be up front the title picture, but you can do something with that Intercontinental title right now. You can do something with that damn with the US strike. Yeah, you could do some things with him. The Kevin Owens, look, man, he's been around a long time. How I miss you, you don't go away. He doesn't need to be chasing that US title. He can do something else. Like, he doesn't need that push right now. LA Knight needs to get a strap. He's got to get a strap.
Kevin Owens looks like the guy that drives a trailer behind his Jeep through my neighborhood with all his lawn cutting equipment on it. He looks like a lawn guy in my neighborhood. That's what Kevin Owens looks like. Big yokel, thick neck, beard, sleeveless shirt, gut.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the AEW and botches last night. We'll get there in a minute. But right now, I just want to cover this real quick. What else? Sami Zayn. We got to talk about Sami Zayn because it's the same thing as Kevin Owens, right?
That's another guy on a treadmill. He's another guy on a treadmill.
Just going nowhere. He's on TV and going nowhere every week. You
Why
got
is it,
all
Don,
these
with this
stars.
company? Hang on a second. Why is it with this company? It's like you got a major PLE, right? Major PLE. The week after, the show that comes on right after the PLE is fantastic. And then you got a long period until the show right before the next PLE. And then that show kicks ass. They don't know what to do in between. There's no transitory things here. Now, Vince McMahon, if I said his name, the Beetlejuice of the WWE, don't say his name 3 times, he'll come back. He would go and rip everything up and throw his own angles in and tell somebody, write something around us at the last minute. And the writers would go crazy. But I don't think these writers that they have are, I think they've been used to being held back for so long. They're not used to having all their ideas. They're not forthcoming with all their
Johnny,
ideas.
we're going to disagree here, pal. I can see this coming.
You
want to know
so?
what I think? Get rid of the goddamn writers and let wrestlers be wrestlers. That's the problem. It's too watered down. These guys aren't being themselves. Give them 5 minutes in that ring and let them cut a promo and get angry at somebody. None of that is happening. The few guys that are actually getting over are the guys doing that. Your LA Knights, your Roman Reigns, your Cody Rhodes. Those guys that are getting fired up and doing that, them writers are giving them little cliff notes. Yeah.
Guys
there needs to be more of that. Look, man,
here's your bullet points right here, and go ahead and do it.
Sink or swim. This
not
shit
everybody
right now
can do
is
that.
Terrible. I can't. It's not terrible. It's how much. I can't do it anymore, man. It's just pasteurized and done. Just every goddamn show is paint by numbers, and I'm tired of it. Give me a reason to hate a son of a bitch.
When I hear on WWE programming, let me tell you something, Daddy. When I hear that, I'm going to say, God damn, it takes me back to the good old days. Where's Ricky Morton?
Give me a reason to get fired.
Where's Dick Slater? Where's Dirty Dick Slater?
Give me a reason to care. That's all I ask about. That's all I care about, man. That's all I care about. And
Dusty
Tyler
Rhodes,
just nailed it. Make promo time shorter. They don't need to be 15 minutes every segment. And if you can't do that, then don't do it. There's very few guys that can do that. Very few.
Cody Rhodes can talk. He can
talk his ass off.
He can talk his ass off, but I'm getting tired of. So, insert name of town here.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about? Jesus
Have you noticed
Christ
he's gotten
almighty.
away from that a little bit, though, lately?
When? Tell me.
He has. Well, he came out on Thursday's show and didn't do any of that shit.
Thursday show?
Last Thursday.
The cock.
Yeah, on the cock.
The press conference. Yes, he didn't do any of that because he was pissed off. He didn't do any of that. He came out mad. He came out hot. He should do that more often. Come out hot.
Mr. T says they're worried about somebody else getting hurt. You don't have to have a physical altercation. It's the threat of a physical altercation that makes you want to watch as a fan. Don't give away the steak on TV. Just sell the sizzle. Give away the steak at the PLE. Let it breathe, baby. Let it breathe.
Let it breathe. Howlin' Mad Murdoch, let it breathe.
And I think somebody asked us a little while ago, do we think we're going to see some surprise at WrestleMania, what we'd like to see? I haven't gotten there yet. I need to see how this shit show goes down here in a couple of
You'll see Bad Bunny, of course. You'll see Bad Bunny.
I think you're going to see Bad Bunny make a surprise.
Rey Mysterio will be back by then, hopefully. If they didn't, with the amputated leg. Guy A's pissed at Guy B. They want to fight, insert Y, let's go. Hey, absolutely, pal. You're right.
Either money, a title.
Jim Ross knows how to do it back in the day. He knew how to do it.
Money, title, or woman.
That's right. That's right. The 3 motivations. I think we're done talking about Raw. It was uneventful. More Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn in the main events, please. Said no one ever.
I like what Drew's doing with his. Sorry, folks, I'm getting the beer. I like what Drew's doing with the mic time, but the seeing him wrestle every week is getting old. God,
100%, 100%. And they've got it. Look, dude. I'm calling the audience, dude. Look, guys, they've got enough people on that roster. They got enough people in that system, in the WWE ecosystem, to float a ton of people in and out. Bring NXT guys up. Have an NXT showcase every Monday night. Bring 2 guys up, 2 young up-and-comers from NXT. And what do you want to do? What do you want to do about New Orleans? It's a cheap Mick Foley trip.
It is.
What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? New Orleans? What do you want to talk about?
It's great to be back here in Atlanta, Georgia.
What do you want to talk about? Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Here's to you, Larry.
What do you want to talk about? Kent's Cock in Ohio?
Anyway, moving on.
Good Lord.
let's move on to what happened on the other channel, because that's what this is all about today. AEW had a show, and I told you
they had a show, all right.
Well, let me easy, big. Before you start getting on here and talk about mother and all this other stuff. I decided a couple weeks ago, as bad as AEW's been, I'm not going to do it to myself anymore until it starts to get better. It's 2 hours of nonsensical matches with the John Moxleys of the world and the Dax Hardwood, which is what started off here, always getting pinned. It's the same shit with the Pockets joke. I can't do it anymore. There's nothing about this program that's appealing to me anymore as a fan. Samoa Joe's about all that's on there. You can catch him on the highlights. I mean, that's what it is. You can catch him on the highlights. Sega just joined. He said he just woke up from last night.
It'll put you out, Sega. It will knock you out. Let me tell you. The show opened with "Wild Thing" by John Moxley, and
that's
it's Joan Jett actually singing it. Joan Jett actually sings his version of it, I do believe. And Moxley's walking through the concession stand where he just bought his own T-shirt. Somebody's got to. And he walked down with his water bottle and flipped the fingers and spit water on the floor and threw the water bottle in the crowd and strolled out into the common area, flanked by a couple security guards so he doesn't get jacked up. Because, he's a tough guy. People want to fight him. Just awful. And when I saw that he was going to face bald FTR,
you knew what was going to happen.
Maybe. I thought it was going to be a good match. Maybe this could be a good match. Maybe they could salvage it. But when you've got one guy in the ring that doesn't want to sell for the other guy, Harwood punched Moxley in the face, I don't know how many times, and all the punches were
nobody sold.
So the punches are done. And so Harwood stopped taking, selling the punches from Moxley. And nobody sold for a while. I tell you what they did sell, if you want to know. I tell you what they did sell. They're doing the shit that they do over in Japan, which I think is just horrendous. They did this.
You mean
they started kissing each other?
What was that, man? I saw the highlights of this. Like I said, I'm not watching it. What was this?
And there's a thing in Japan where certain bitter enemies have done this in the ring, where one guy kisses the other guy, and then the other guy kisses the other guy. Next thing you know, there's a reach around involved. That's all I can say.
You sick bastard. What is wrong with you?
Why am I sick?
What is wrong with you?
It's the next logical progression. It's the next logical progression. What's next after this? Break out the baby oil? The ass cream? What's next?
Actually, it was a Wardlow squash match.
Jesus Christ. This was just a typical Moxley match with man on man love now. With man on man love.
Moxley match he ever has ever. It's going to start the outside.
It is. Starts on the outside. No regard for the rules. No count outs at all. I can't understand why they have rules for these things. It's just you should be Texas death matches. The Texas death match.
I don't want to. No, every match about the end. I'm saving that. I want to save that for the end because I'm done. I'm done with that shit too. Well, it's god awful.
The kissing, the non-selling. Try to do a move. Moxley puts a guy up on the top rope. Moxley is on the top rope. And the guy suggested to him to do a move. Moxley don't want to do it. Moxley offers his other suggestion. And you can see them like muttering at each other. And then there's no cooperation from Moxley whatsoever. And the guy's got to take a fall. And then, or he'll take a suplex off the top.
Everybody was taking suplexes off the top in this match. There was a move off the top turnbuckle, I swear to God, in every match. Every match, it's the same shit. Do as much as you can, sell nothing, and bleed like hell if you get a chance.
If, folks, in this planet, on this world, if everyone looked exactly the same and sounded exactly the same, but just dressed a little differently, had different names, no one would be special. No one would be special. If you do the same thing in every match on the show, the same bullshit, nothing special. The moves, there's nothing special in any of the moves. I saw a guy last night take a backbreaker into a DDT, and he got up 30 seconds later. He came to and crawled. You don't want me to say his name.
It was OC, wasn't it? I know it was because I saw it.
Yes, it was.
I watched that today.
Yes, it was.
Just to see if it was as bad as I thought it was going to be.
A backbreaker into a DDT where the guy is straight up in the effing air would be a finishing move right there.
Let's go down the list. Let's go down the list.
Okay, so with this match, a lot of the usual shenanigans from this asshole, and then Moxley. And then he pins his guy he didn't pin his guy. He puts him out with a sleeper hold. That's his new thing. I guess he thinks.
Yeah, that's the new thing because DDT is no longer being sold by anybody.
Right. I guess he thinks he's Sergeant Slaughter now to put a guy out in the sleeper hold. And I can't believe bald FTR is probably thinking, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh, no, he's still
How are we supposed to know if a match is good if the ring gear, and wrestlers aren't covered in blood? Yeah, that's what these kids who watch this shit are trained at now. It's not good if there's no blood in the ring. How long until he blazed from an Irish whip?
He's already done it. He's already done it.
Yes, he already's done that. He probably bled from his asshole last night during this match. That's all I can say.
The ratings, by the way,
horrendous
on this were 811.
Let's not go into it just yet.
I'm just saying what they were because here's where it went to shit on the ratings, right? This was the big get. The Wardlow squash match happens, and then Adam Copeland and Garcia, the dancing idiot, comes out. And the entire show went under from here on out. They never recovered.
Done.
They never recovered. They barely came back up for air once, and then that was it.
All right, we're done talking about Moxley. Let's talk about Wardlow. Somebody must be watching this show because we bitched for the last 2 weeks about why they're botching Wardlow. Why is he taking so much offense from these little guys he's in the ring with? Block Larry's now an employee of the TSA.
The Wardlow should have been winning like this more than not. I don't know why it took so long to get to this point. He's a big guy. He's been in some shitty feuds. You keep getting him off TV, and then he comes back, and there's no storyline. Get him over with crushing some people. He was in a competitive match, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, with some jabroni. I don't know who the hell it was. I can't tell you who was wrestling.
I can't even remember who it was. AR Fox? I don't even know the guy's name. A guy I think has never been on AEW Dynamite before. I think somebody said he was in Ring of Honor for a while. He was a jabroni for Ring of Honor. And he ran circles around Wardlow. Got all kinds of offense in. This was perfect, concise, to the point, Goldberg-esque. I'm going to jack you up, throw you around the ring, power bomb, boom.
Done.
Over with.
And it should have been over.
Done.
Right there.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And Adam Cole sat there and
Commander, wasn't it? It was Commander. Even Block Larry's remembering this shit.
It was Commander weeks ago, yes. Yes. But there was another guy with long hair without a mask who Mercedes told me she would see you at the show. She wants to see Big Don in Boston.
I guarantee that will never happen. Anyway, this happened. This all went down. I don't want to get into it too
much. Connie the Cook, God bless you.
I'm not repeating that one, but that was a good one.
We popped with Connie the Cook. God bless you. And just like Moxley might have popped a roid. That's why Hangman's
Adam
coming out
Copeland and Daniel Garcia. That was after the Wardlow squash, right? That was after that. This was the big guy, right? This was everybody. He's the game changer. This was the latest game changer. This was the guy that was going to bring all the eyes back. This was going to change the way AEW did their show. And he dropped the ball. They have done nothing good with him. He's feuding with his best friend. It's going nowhere, and he's in the ring with a dancing monkey last night.
Don, he's the guy that the WWE was holding him back from doing what he wanted to do. He wanted to do more, Don. He wanted
Daniel
to do
Garcia?
more in the WWE. No, Adam Copeland, when he was Edge. When he had an edge in WWE, he wanted to do more. And they held him back from doing more. They said, you can't do more, you're going to be a special attraction. We'll book you like that, like Lesnar.
We will treat you like WWE royalty.
Yes. Yes. And now look where he's at. He's another dancing monkey. They trot him out every once in a while. I thought the feud with Christian was over with. I thought it was done.
I did too. What the hell? Are we doing this again?
We're doing it again. But now it seems like they shifted it. They've shifted it to Daniel Garcia because he came out after Daniel Garcia. And the Edge got back in the ring with a chair and got re-involved in all this, protecting his opponent for some reason. And look, Nick Wayne, you and your mother, it's over. Do you wrestle anymore, Nick? Nick, do you wrestle? Do you ever get in the ring anymore?
I don't care.
I don't care. I'm just curious.
Why is someone's mom involved in wrestling? This is so
She's not,
weak.
Look, dude. The whole thing was, when it started, he was admiring Nick's mom on Instagram, talking a bunch of shit about her swimsuit photos on Instagram and all that. She's not hot, okay? She's not a wrestling hot girl, okay? Look, she's not hot like Sky Blue or Anna Jay.
You're killing me right now, Bottles. You're killing myself.
I'm just saying. What's the purpose of having her there?
That's what I'm saying. Why is she here, man? This is bullshit.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Luchasaurus should have turned face and beat the shit out of Christian Cage months ago. That's what
was the rating on this
That's the real
segment?
Story.
What was the rating on this segment? Because this is where it fell right off a cliff. It started with the Young Bucks interview and went straight into this, and everybody said, bunk this. I'm out of here. I don't need this shit.
Hang on, big guy, okay? Hang on, big guy. Calm down now. Calm down now. As Tony Storm would say, calm your tits. Okay.
I'm just calm.
Take a deep breath, Don. Just take a swig of Guinness for the working man. We started out this program. This program started with a big lead from the Big Bang Theory at 944. 944,000 people.
I just want to know what this was.
We dropped down with Moxley to 905. I'm getting there, Don. I got to put this in perspective. 905, 905,000 people from Moxley and Dax Hardwood. Dropped down to 762,000 people. Wardlow and whoever kept the lead. They kept it going until it dropped down to 762 with these guys. It edged up 30,000 people in the very next quarter hour to 792,000. But I'll tell you why it edged up. Right? I'll tell you why it edged up.
Because Samoa Joe was coming.
Samoa Joe was coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Bit of business there with a concerto on Adam. I'm an effing idiot Copeland.
Why?
He got involved and he got taken out. He got a concerto and blah, 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 blah.
And Scott, this is what I was going to get to. When the Young Bucks came out, it killed everything from then on.
We're going. You're killing the lead story here. You're killing the lead story.
No, they came out before. They were out before this match. Yes, they had an interview. Read it. They had an interview before this match. They had an interview before the Edge match.
They did. A Young Bucks video interview.
And everybody said, I'm out. Screw this. I'm not doing this.
You think maybe that's what happened? They thought those guys were coming out next?
When they saw that, they were like, nope, I think they're coming out next. I'm getting the hell out of here.
You think they're garlic and a cross to viewers? They're like
I think it's terrible.
Spready Roosevelt chimes in. The Young Bucks with his private jet, long black car. About the only one knows they're just cosplaying the bloodline now. Maybe they'll get Evil Uno to play the Heyman role. Oh, for God's sakes, no. 1 million guaranteed. Oh, good Lord, no Evil. I haven't seen Evil Uno in months. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
The Young
He's
Bucks
the swap meet version of Stone Cold.
I don't want to dwell on this, man, because I'm just going to.
I think Daniel Garcia is also viewer repellent.
He is. No, you got them on a look at this. Look at those ratings. They were back to back, and everybody said, "I'm out of here. To hell with this. I don't need to watch this."
Now, keep in mind, Don, that everything that these yokels do when they're out in the clubs with their friends or at their private parties or backstage, everything they do that goof off in, and people get a pop out of it, people laugh. They do it on camera now. Garcia's doing that little thumb fucking dance.
That they thought was funny at a club.
And now he's got to do it all the time. I'll point out something else later on. But Samoa Joe comes out. Samoa Joe comes out. And he's going to cut a promo. And yes, he does. And then Swerve Strickland interrupts him with Prince Nana. And they come out. And Swerve Strickland, this is why you don't give Swerve Strickland a microphone to speak. Because he's trying to get the words out.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?
I heard what he said. Yes.
I'll repeat it if you don't remember, because I could.
You go ahead and say it. I don't know it verbatim, but I remember sort of.
Samoa Joe, remember when you said, and it's quiet as it could get, and a fan goes, "What did he say?" And the whole place erupted over that.
He stared at the guy.
And stared right at it. because you
Right at him. Well,
you forgot what you wanted to say. You got worked up. You dropped the ball. I've said it for how long? This guy with a microphone for too long is a bad idea.
That's why when he was at NXT and WWE, and he was the leader of Hit Row, he never spoke. Hardly ever spoke. Top Dollar did all the talking for Hit Row.
We see
which
why
he should
now.
because he's a great promo, but he can't wrestle. Swerve Strickland can wrestle, but he's a bad promo. So those two guys together, they should have got rid of B-Fab and Ashante the Adonis, kept Top Dollar and Swerve Strickland. He could have been the hype man for Swerve Strickland.
Anything, because I felt bad for him because he just kept saying it over and over. And then the fan gets the biggest laugh of the night. It was so quiet you could hear this guy on every microphone they had picking up sound. They
only have 1,500 people there. What do you expect?
I know. It's embarrassing, man.
It was horrible. Horrible.
And then, of course, Butterfly Pants came out and made it even worse with his nonsense.
And he got booed.
Yes, he did. But it wasn't like, boo, you're a bad guy. It was, boo, I'm tired of this.
Go away, boo. Go away, boo. Boo, go away, boo.
Oh,
that's what I say to my boo every once in a while. Go away, boo. But
Larry says he saw today that Swerve bases his entire wrestling persona off of Wesley Snipes movies. Well, then he'll probably get caught for tax evasion later. Anyway.
Samoa Joe saved the promo
well, he did.
by firing off the last line. Yes, he did. And he threw the microphone down and left. And that's a start. And the ratings proved it because he raised the ratings from when the Young Bucks video hit. He raised the ratings.
Dropped to like 730 or some shit.
76,000 people. They hit 838,000 with the Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page segment. And it's not because of those previous two guys. It's because of Samoa Joe. The only face that the
what
only
did
true
it drop
face that
back to after this was over? What did it immediately go down to?
Well, we because
this is the Young Bucks match next, right?
The Young Bucks. No, they had the Tony Storm video. Package.
Oh yeah, that thing.
The Tony Storm video, which I will admit, she's the women's star. She's the star of the women's division with the gimmick that she's doing now.
But we talked about this, dude. It's the overkill.
She's the star.
It's the overkill.
What else do they have in the women's division? What else do they have in the women's division? They got nobody. They got nobody.
They got Jay. Oh wait, they don't.
That's right.
Too soon?
They got. No, it's never too soon, Don. Mercedes Moné. She's coming in. She's a hell of a promo. I hope they give her a fucking ukulele when she walks in the door.
I was gonna say that, you dick. You stole my line. That's your girl too. So don't you pretend it's not. That's your girl.
She's great to look at. She can wrestle. She can't do a promo that well. I'll be the first to admit it. But if she was in WWE, they write the promos for them. You just
she was in WWE. I'd stop watching her channel. Sock him in the box.
Sock him in the box. I'm going to get in that ring and sock you right in the box. And that pop Renee Young and Snooki Perazzo. They laughed.
So they did the thing, and then it's the Jackson versus Top Flight shit, correct?
The Jacksons came out versus Top Flight. Top Flight were accompanied to the ring by Action Andretti, who's like their new best friend. And he came out with them, and he's got a water bottle, and he's got this gimmick now, Don, of taking the water bottle and crushing it and sucking all the water, and throwing the bottle away. He just drank the bottle instantaneously. That's another gimmick that they do backstage. That's something they do backstage to pop people, and it's a big deal. It's funny, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it all the time. Let's tell the same jokes all the effing time.
Well, they close with the same joke. We're going to get there here soon.
Well, the Young Bucks came out in their dirty outfits. They look like they just left the meatpacking plant.
From where they attacked Sting and Darby Allin from last week.
Right. And they had suspect quality of the blood. It looked like it was fake blood. But is it a safe die? Is it a safety issue to go out and wrestle people with the bodily fluids of another man on your clothing, unwashed?
I don't know. Hold on. I don't know if Warner Brothers is going to talk about it or not as far as AEW. We're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow, I think, too. But no, it looked suspect at best. It looked like, I don't know. I think what they had to do is I think they had to take it to the cleaners or something. Like, I don't know that you can come back out there in dried blood because everybody's had a bloody shirt, nose. it's stiff as a board once that shit dries. Like if you ever busted your nose open and your shirt dries out, it just becomes this crust-ridden thing that will not bend. It's not like a stain you would normally get with with grape juice or milk or anything like that. It just gets crusty and hard as hell. So
I had a pair of OP corduroy shorts from summer camp that were no good. I had to throw them away.
Yeah, so you've got to do something like that. So I don't know that they came out there right away and and without getting them clean. So I think that's why they looked a little bit lighter in color. I know one thing: if somebody bled all over their clothes last week, they're like, "We're gonna wear the same clothes as tonight." Like the hell you are, buddy. You better at least run it through the cleaners once. I'll be damned.
I think if you took that to the cleaners, they'd ask a lot of questions, and when you go to pick it up, there'd be somebody there waiting for you. But anyway, that debacle took place. They shoved down Tony Schiavone, who was trying to interview them in the ring. And they were going to do a 70-year-old man who's got some sort of larynx problem. They threw him down in the ring, and they were going to do the old, they call it the EVP trigger now instead of the V
trigger.
trigger.
Where they kick him in the head.
Kick him in the head. But they were rescued by a young Make-A-Wish kid who ran to the ring with a baseball bat in his hand.
No, you can say whatever you want, but Darby Allin's over. He's over. He's got charisma. He's got something. He's 170 pounds soaking wet.
He's got no charisma. He's over because of the daredevil antics. He's over because of the daredevil antics.
Okay.
Come on now.
Okay. Is
he
Although
I
will
say, can I say something first before you cut me off?
You haven't been talking the whole show, bitch.
I'm the co-host. I'll just sit here then.
I asked a question. Is he over with that crowd? Back to me. Yeah, he's over with that crowd, Don. That's my point. I'm not saying he's over with every wrestling fan, but he's over with that crowd.
That was a hell of a promo we cut. I will say that.
Well, here's why I've never
been impressed with Darby Allin.
Okay.
I've never been impressed with him with his verbal skills until last night. And he mentioned, go ahead. What are you going to say?
This was the worst.
Don't mind me. I was just talking. Go ahead.
This is the worst thing that could have ever happened to Tony Khan backstage. Not only did he reference the biggest baby face in wrestling right now, who's on the other company, he also called him the best EVP of your company, called out your EVPs for being the shitbirds that they are, called them out for what everybody's been saying backstage about them now for the past year and a half, called them out on every true no shit shoot angle. Oh, and by the way, a Cody chant started in the crowd.
He's the second biggest face. Cody Rhodes is the second biggest face in AEW, right behind Samoa Joe. MJF's out. Who knows where he's going to wind up? Cody Rhodes is the number 2 face in AEW. You could tell it last night. They were all chanting Cody because that storyline in the other company has involved everybody. It was the loudest chant of the night. You're right. You're goddamn right, Sega. It was the loudest chant of the night. He was... That storyline they have going on in the WWE with The Rock and Cody Rhodes, finish the story, yada, 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 is the biggest thing in professional wrestling. The biggest. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about the Young Bucks versus Sting.
No one.
Allin. No one gives a shit about it.
And yes, Greg, if you didn't hear it, they literally were chanting, Cody, Cody. It was insane. I could see Tony Khan backstage pulling his hair out as he was sniffing whatever he's got in his concoction. Just losing his mind.
Allegedly. So you could say, people say, well, it's not the biggest thing because they sold 15,000 tickets in, was it North Carolina or South Carolina?
Greensville is in South Carolina.
They sold 15,000 tickets.
No, it's
in South Carolina.
North. I think it's a North. It's a North.
In the Carolinas, they sold 15,000 tickets for Revolution. It's the biggest pay-per-view they've had in a long time outside of Wembley. That's because it Sting's fucking retirement.
Yeah, that's it. North Carolina. Okay.
People who are nostalgic, and it's a huge wrestling area. The Carolinas and Georgia, of course, and Florida, huge wrestling areas, and they were psyched up to see Sting in his last match. You're going to have a lot of older people. The demographic's going to change for this show. A lot of older people will buy tickets to the show, and they already have 15,000 people with disposable income who can.
Here's the question, because Colin just brought up a great point. There's no good out of this either way, right? There's no good ending in this. Like, even if you...
Unless
Even
Don,
if you have him lose, it's going to piss the fans off because it's in Sting country. And if you have them win, then what do you do with the tag team titles?
they abdicate him.
And then the Young Bucks win them in the end, so who gives a shit?
They can face Sting and Darby Allin, and Sting could win in his last match.
I tell you, this
Big celebration, and that's his last match, and they have to relinquish the tag titles, and Darby Allin's going to find another partner, and they have a tournament for the tag titles. They could do that to drive their programming for the next 2 weeks. Tag team tournament, matches on every show.
Oh, God, Johnny.
And then the Young Bucks may win again, or FTR may win again.
How many tournaments are they going to have, man? My God.
He's big. Look, dude, that's all he's got. Okay? That's all he's got.
Like I just want to punch myself.
That's all he's got is tournaments.
See, even Tyler just said it as I was saying it. That's all they need is another goddamn tournament.
He can't write a show. It's evident from last night. He cannot write a show. I would say blame it on the agents. The agents say, okay, what are you guys going to do in the match? Well, I'm going to do a Canadian Destroyer 500 times, and then he's going to go ahead and give me a backbreaker and a DDT, and then I'm going to get color, and then he's going to throw a chair at my face and bust me open and throw me over the top rope, and then he's going to sodomize me with a Singapore cane until I can't take it anymore. And then I'm going to, okay, it's AEW, pal. And then he's going to throw me back in the ring, and then he's going to pull out brass knuckles, and I'm going to hit him in the cock. And 1, 2, 3 pin. And that's okay, no problem. And they'll just say, okay.
They're going to change their name.
Right.
They're going to change their name to ATW, All Tournament Wrestling. He nailed it.
Perfect.
Do we have to? I just want to move on from this because it was so. Oh, by the way, did you get the picture I sent of the close-up of the Young Bucks and his painted on shit down the middle? That was clearly painted on to make it look like it was full.
Really?
Yeah, oh, dude, you go back and look. This whole little strip of beard he's got is completely painted. It looked like he took a marker to paint in the missing areas.
He could have like a little Pauly Shore kind of thing coming down. A little,
he was trying to. It looked like he took a marker and painted.
Took a Sharpie and colored it in.
I swear to God, go look. It swears that's what it looked like to me.
Got to do what you got to do, pal. Flavor saver. He's trying to look manly. They're trying to look
Tony
manly.
Atlas in a high heel ball torture match. That'll sell some.
Hey, that would drive the ratings up. I love to see that.
I am not covering this sky blue shit. You can cover this on your own. I'm not doing this.
Willow Nightingale with Stokely Hathaway as her manager. And then they had to have, Chris Statlander, who was a tag team partner. If it's actual stable with these three, she had to go and accompany them to the top of the ramp. Why they do this, I have no effing idea. You don't have to come out. Just sit in the back and eat. Okay? Just sit in the back and eat. Drink Gatorade. Whatever. Go on TikTok. Play Xbox. Do whatever you got to do. Play Yahtzee with Ruby Soho. Do whatever you got to do back there. You don't have to follow everybody out to the top of the ramp. This goes for everybody in that company. You don't have to do it. But anyway, Willow Nightingale runs to the ring. This is a woman who is she's wrestling's Lizzo, and she runs around the ring, happy to be there. God bless her. And she's Stokely Hathaway's on commentary for a bit of business with Taz about orange shirts. I zoned out during this. I had to keep slapping myself in the face to stay conscious. Good thing I set off, I had a fire burning in the kitchen to set off all the smoke detectors to wake me up at given points of this show. Otherwise, I never would have made it. And Willow Nightingale ran laps around the ring. She jumped in. She wrestled Sky Blue, who is a beautiful girl. A beautiful, beautiful girl. Very little wrestling acumen whatsoever. She can get by as a jobber, but you can't expect her to call a match in the ring or to actually make anything look effective. Willow Nightingale almost botched again by lifting Sky Blue up because she was so winded and tired. She went to lift Sky Blue up and almost had to set her back down again because she's tired from running around like a maniac. She body slammed her on the mat. And I forgot what the finish was, but I believe Willow Nightingale won. Who gives a shit? It was a waste of TV time. And the reason why the women's division is the lowest rated segments of these shows is because no one's caring about them backstage. No one's putting any kind of effort into any of this shit with the women backstage.
It's because they're bad, Johnny.
Outside of Tony Storm.
They're bad.
The Tony Storm shit actually drives interest in the women's division. The other stuff is just, I don't know what to call it.
Right.
Garbage.
And
don't say we got to bring in women who can work like Riho, Hikaru Shida, or any
trash,
of these other.
Dude. It's trash.
It's garbage. Hikaru Shida is a great wrestler, but she can't talk.
This is wasting money on television. You're wasting money. We're wasting money talking about it. I'm not talking about it no more. Orange Cassidy and Matt Taven.
You want the numbers for this? Do you want the numbers for this?
I could give a shit, but go ahead.
This is the downhill slide. It went from 838 with Samoa Joe to 785 with the Bucks to 741. We lost 44,000 people when this match started.
What did
I'm not even going to mention the Bang Bang Scissor Gang promo that was before terrible. The women's match.
It was so horrible, so.
And I got a picture I got to show you later when we're done.
Okay.
This.
I want to talk about this Orange Cassidy match because it was the worst shit I've ever seen. And I'm not going to get into this detail. I don't want to cover this because it's the same goddamn Orange Cassidy match we get every week, where he gets the shit beat out of him. They threw each other through a bunch of tables. One guy jumped through a bunch of tables. It was a quote-unquote Texas death match. So you know what that means. No fucking rules, so we don't mind run-ins. So, of course, at the end of the match, everybody and their mother runs in the ring. It's a complete clusterflop of whatever the hell's going on. It's sloppy booking. There's no creativity. It was total and unhinged horseshit that didn't make any goddamn sense. The other guy's ripping pockets, literally pockets out. It was terrible. It sucked. I can't believe this was their main event. They never need to show this shit again. It was the worst thing about this show, and I don't want to say another goddamn word about it. It was embarrassing.
You want to talk about how unsafe it was?
Oh, no. I'm done. I'm done because we got something that's unsafe to talk about. I don't want to get into how this
fits right in.
This
fits right in. You had a man throw a folding chair, to another man's face and hit him right square in the forehead. Again, you had a man take a backbreaker onto a DDT, and it looked stiff as shit. But he got right back up again. You had a guy cut his head hard way. He didn't gig himself because he cut his head over here. He busted his head open going through a table. Orange Cassidy off the stage. You had a guy dive over the top rope to hit Orange Cassidy on a table propped up on the announce desk. He hit it high.
Almost
where it didn't break.
Bastard. Almost overshot the bastard.
Almost overshot it. He hit it high where there's no give. And the table broke, John. The table broke, Johnny Bottles. Yeah, it broke when he fell down on top of it. It broke. It was a shit show.
This sucked, dude. This sucked. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It was completely embarrassing. They have decided that this guy's going to be a main eventer. I don't know why. I don't give a shit why. I'm not watching this guy anymore. I watched the highlights, and that's all I needed to see was the table shots, the chair chucking, the run-ins.
Is it the sequencing of this show? There's no one in the back telling him how to pace a show. It's the sequencing of this show. What should have been the main event of this show? What should have been the main event? This should not have been the main event. Matt Taven from the Kingdom. Matt Taven, one half the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion.
No one knows who that guy is.
No one knows who he is. He's nothing. He's a jobber. He's below mid-card. He should not be in the main event of this show.
This is how this should have ended, Johnny. The three guys in the ring at the 9 o'clock hour should have closed the show, and security has to come in and stop the scrum.
A big battle. You're exactly right.
To say, shit, they're going to have some heat next week.
You're exactly right.
This was shit.
Exactly right. You're right.
Speaking of shit, what the fuck is Garcia's problem with the goddamn Hardy Boys? Is he out to end both their careers in the same time?
That's not Garcia. Wrong guy.
Oh, sorry, not Garcia. The other, Sammy Guevara, the other douchebag.
Oh, hang on. You know what the show did, Don? Let's talk about what this show did.
811,000.
811,000. It's up what? What was it up? It was up over last week.
Like
last
6,000.
Week was 805.
Yeah.
That was it. I don't know whether he just gets bored when he sees there's only 1,500 people out there. OC's a comedy job guy. International title's a joke. You're exactly right, Grey Goose.
Yeah. I want to talk. I want to talk about this shit, man. Because throw it up on the screen. Because this was hard to watch. I saw this shit this morning. They were filming, was it Rampage? They were filming after this last week or last night, I believe. And Jeff Hardy,
as they always do.
Yes,
as they always do. They always tape Rampage after Dynamite.
And Jeff Hardy was laying in the ring, ready to take a jump off the top rope. And once again,
hang on, you can narrate this. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I just don't understand why they do this with Guevara, and he is just.
This is the best part you can see too. It's just insane.
All right.
Come on, baby! Here comes Sandy off the top rope, missed my hit, and watch the knee straight to the face. Straight to the face, dude. Come on, baby! Bam! Right in the dome. Right in the face. Dude, you got the other angle? Because the other one shows it just as well, because you can see his head bounce off the mat on the ricochet. He nailed him so hard in the face. From what I read, he was knocked stupid in the ring. And the safest company in the world, according to their owner, let the match continue. I'm telling you, this dude has got it out for the Hardy Boys. He's tried to end both their careers in the same time frame. It's insane.
Don't have the other angle, but this angle that we just showed on screen is actually the best, where you can actually see the knee hit that man right in his face. They don't think he suffered a concussion. Wink. He broke his nose in the ring and lost a tooth. That's what I heard.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I heard.
Safest company in wrestling.
Safest company in wrestling, Don, don't you know? Just the absolute shits is what it is. Just the absolute shits. And guess who's coming back?
I don't know.
Guess who they're bringing back? A guy who left at the end of last year, and he's coming back.
Who?
QT Marshall.
I thought he just quit.
He just quit. And now he's coming back in a non-wrestling capacity. He's strictly going to be a backstage component because the shows have sucked, I guess. I guess they made him an offer he couldn't refuse to come back. Cody Rhodes couldn't get him in WWE.
Well, they don't want him. They don't need him. Why the hell would they want that guy?
They don't need him. They don't need a man.
Lord,
here's the speaking of Cody Chance.
We talked about Marty Jannetty getting his foot cut off a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we did. Hang on a second.
Don't get us kicked off here, dude.
And thank God at the time there was an EVP here with a sense of brains. And I'm not talking about Kenny Omega.
There's the chant.
There's the chant. What are you going to do, Don?
And rumor has it that there was heat with him backstage after that promo.
Yes, because he buried them. He also buried Brandon Cutlet. He talked shit about Brandon Cutlet. He goes, "I think I was on the first show." No, the first show. A guy who's has never done anything in wrestling. Brandon Cutler.
I'm done with it.
Have you seen what they did at the end?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about. Wait a second.
What the hell are you talking about?
AEW Neckbeards AEW Neckbeards is the greatest. He's phenomenal. Anyway, this is what they had at the end of the show last night. 200 Dynamites.
I saw.
Thank you, Tony Khan.
Down. Take this shit
Thank you,
down.
Tony Khan. Can we suckle at your hind teat any harder than what we got? He said he didn't know anything about this.
I don't give a shit if he did or not. It's such an ass-kissing job. I'm done.
It's the worst. It is absolutely the worst. It boggles my effing mind. Saw that. Did you see the pictures from last night of the crowd?
We can, throw them up. Booker of the Year!
He's the Booker of the Year. There's the hard cam side over here where my cursor's bouncing around. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but
there's one thing I want to cover on this before we get out of here, and I want to cover it real quick because actually, our boy Dave Meltzer, went all in on AEW. Look at that shit. Dave Meltzer went all in on the show from last night and the promo that he cut. Did you see this?
What did he
Hear
say?
about this?
No, I did not. I did not. Hit me with it.
He said they could have talked about Sting having his sons beat up. They could have talked about them jumping them last week and leaving them a bloody mess. There were so many different things that they could have done last night to continue on from the angle. But instead, they decided to go with cutting a promo that involves a guy that's not in the company anymore. He said it was a terrible booking decision. Whoever wrote this part of the show should be fired. Oh, wait, guess who wrote this part of the show?
Tony Khan?
He can't be fired. Even Uncle Dave is upset about all of this. And he also had something to say about The Rock that I want to talk about tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to save it for tomorrow because it's SmackDown and he's going to be on there.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to talk about that tomorrow.
It's about The Rock and Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
We'll let that be a little teaser, a little nugget. Don, you know it's Black History Month. It's Black History Month.
What do you got for me today?
I've got one of the greats of all time. Courtesy of Brian Solomon. The great wrestling historian, Brian Solomon. It's the Jackie Robinson of pro wrestling. He broke barriers as a black babyface headliner wearing white heels. Wrestling white heels. First black world tag team champion in 1956. And I started watching wrestling and I saw Bobo Brazil for the first time. First black U.S. champion in 1961. First black wrestler to headline Madison Square Garden in a singles match, 1962. The great Bobo Brazil, master of the Cocoa Butt. That was his big move. The Cocoa Butt, a headbutt. Grab you like this with his long arms and crack you over the head with his head.
Dude is a legend, man. He is an absolute legend.
Absolute legend. They don't make him like him anymore.
They really don't.
Guys.
No, we get the goddamn Young Bucks instead.
We do. We get the Young Bucks, unfortunately. Here's a feel-good story. But we're going to leave everybody with a feel-good story. This is Boom Swollen. Don't laugh at his name. He's the grandson of WWE wrestling legend Brian Pillman. He managed to prevent a mass shooting at his school by alerting his dad, who in turn alerted the authorities. He's been honored with this certificate. And Marymount Junior High School Student of the Month, respect. Jackson Boom Pillman.
Way to go, kid. Way to go.
I don't know why they called him. I don't know why he's billed here as Boom Swallow, but that's what they've got going on with this dude.
Good for him, man.
They're really the Mercedes Monet debut for the 13th of March. Big business, don't you know? At the TD Garden. They're moving a lot of tickets, Don.
What are they up to now?
5,823.
Dude, that's a big show for them.
That's a big show for them. They're moving a lot of tickets.
Too bad it holds like, what, 20,000?
Yes, it does.
That's what I thought.
Yes, it does. And there was an argument that someone had on
let's cover that later. Save some, Johnny. Save some. It's called a teaser.
Here's the picture I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
From
he looks about as happy
scissor
to be
game
there as a mouse in a cat cage.
Right over here, if you can see my cursor.
Yeah, that's about the most unhappy man I've seen.
Switchblade Jay White said, "This is what I'm fucking reduced to with these schmucks." And this guy right here, Anthony Bowens, who has the tagline, "Everybody loves the Acclaimed. Everyone hates the Acclaimed." I hate to tell you that. At least I do.
This is just too much. It's too many catchphrases. It's too much. It's just too much now.
It's overboard. They took two things that caught on. One is on its way down, the Acclaimed, but one's on its way up, the Bang Bang Gang. And they smushed them together to make something that's greater than what they are individually, and it's not working. It's actually bringing both groups down.
Thank you, everybody, for watching today. We appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Dwayne, I can't disagree with you, man. It's they did book them wrong. They screwed this up from the moment go with the scissor game. They screwed it up. They screwed this whole thing up. They were over like Rover, and then they went away for a while, and we all forgot about it.
I want to close the show with a feel-good thing because we've been so negative. Everyone says we're so negative, we hate everything. We hate all wrestling. We don't. We give everything a chance. We talk bad about the WWE. We talk bad about AEW, but both companies deserve it. We praise AEW on certain things when they deserve it. We praise WWE. TNA, Anyway, here's a palate cleanser that I found. Don, this is a bear in the road.
Yes, it is. Where are we going with this?
Just watch this. Watch this. This is a real bear.
Don't get stupid, dog. Please tell me your window's up, lady.
This is a real bear. And he's welcoming everybody to the state park. Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing?
I can handle that. That's cool.
Just a little feel-good thing.
My man was
To
looking for
close
some
the show.
bread.
He was looking for some bread. He was looking for a picnic basket like Yogi Bear.
I'm looking for
would've made the whole
subscribers.
thing-
Please like and subscribe.
We are looking for subscribers. Please hit us with some subscribers. You know who told me today? Fuck you guys and your subscribers. I'm not subscribing to your channel. I got incensed in the comments today.
No, he would never say that. He would never.
I think he would. You know who that was?
He would not. He would.
Of course he would. That son of a bitch.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.